The progression of the character has been really interesting because it goes all the way back to 1939 and a comic company called Fawcett Comics who created the character Captain Marvel. And basically they created him by ripping off Superman. So they're like, oh, they're doing real well. Let's go make our own Superman. Well,
there were a lot of lawsuits over the years over all of this.
Exactly.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. And so DC sued Fawcett, justly so. They ultimately went under. I don't know if it was because of the lawsuit, but then DC bought that all of the Fawcett catalog, including Captain Marvel, then lost the trademark because they didn't re-up it. And then Marvel came around and they had a Captain Marvel. And then it was very difficult to sell a comic that you can't call Captain Marvel.
So DC had to call its Captain Marvel Shazam.
Exactly. Kind of, yeah. I mean, they can call, in the comic, you can call the character Captain Marvel, but you can't say on the top of the comic, you can't say Captain Marvel. So for a long time, if you look at like in the 70s and stuff, you could, they would title the comic, it was like a bunch of words. It would say, by the power, becoming Earth's mightiest mortal, but with the power of the word Shazam. And it was like, the branding was Shazam. So then people started connecting that word specifically to the name of the superhero, particularly if you weren't reading it. If you're just walking by a comic book rack, you're like, oh, that's the name of that guy. That's the name of that character. So then it became a little muddy, and now everyone's and now you've got Brie Larson's Captain Marvel literally in theaters now, and us on the heels of that. I mean, our trailer is trailering on Captain Marvel. So the comic book geeks are all having a field day. They're really
It must be really, really awkward when you run into Brie Larson. God, you must hate each other.
We actually bumped into each other in Brazil at this convention down there, and we had a lovely time.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.